right, so this video is in response to the YouTube comments on the video that you created, where I indicated that the way this was installed and dismantled in your video is incorrect. So I want to go through the process of how to properly take this down, because the way it's mentioned will cause damage. And the main reason is, if you look up in here, see if I can get a clear video of it. There on the right and there on the left are two clips next to the screws. And you guys ignored these, and so what happens is when you pull down, those clips actually break. And that actually cost me personally $140 because I broke these clips watching your video and then had to replace this entire unit. From Mopar, $140. It's a brand new truck. I was a little upset. So I want to, try to save somebody else from this headache. And then I want to show where there's some issues with the video and editing. Because in your video, and I'll try to put this in some editing, but you use a spludger tool and you indicate that you need to pry this down completely. And you mentioned that, and then in the next scene, you have this actually separated into two parts. So this can come off from around the rest of it. And so you're telling people to do one thing, but then you yourselves are actually doing something different. So there's some discrepancies there. So I want you to clear up the proper way to do this, and then even another method of getting the bulbs in there. So just like you, first thing I'm gonna do is take out these screws, and bear with me because I'm trying to do this with one hand. And when I get this out, I'll be able to show you the clips just a little bit better. It's gonna be hard to see while it's in here, but it's really, really important, as others have said in the comments. You have to depress them. And so, let's see if I can, still continue to show you. So there's one, pulls right down. And the other, where's the other? And the other one, and it literally pulls right down without any effort. You can see them here on the back, right here. These are the clips I'm talking about, and when I'm on the inside, I'm depressing them in, and you can see the hooks up here, right here. These are the hooks they go to. I didn't even have to use a spludger. The clips are still there, everything's held together, and there's no damage. Like I said, and then so I mentioned before, you have people pulling down on this, and then when you watch the video, notice how this whole eyeglass piece is missing. It's because you've pulled the frame down separate from it. Additionally, so let's talk about the actual installation here. You have this whole thing come apart. You don't actually tell people how you got it apart, just that you did, which is kind of dangerous because you're potentially like pulling on tabs that you can't see that are on the inside. Again, the reason I'm so upset about this and why I was so adamant is because I broke these clips watching your video doing exactly what you said because it was wrong. This whole piece, $140 from Mopar. Okay, so to get the actual bulbs, and look, you guys make great products. I went and bought the back one too, which I'll talk about in a second. But there's just a much easier way to do this. So the next step, and I highly suggest wearing gloves for this. I'm not actually gonna go all the way through with this because I don't have gloves on me. But you can pull these lenses out, and the way you do that, you take one of these guitar pick pry tools, and you go in. Let me see if I can move the camera. And you go in and you work your way around the edge, and you just work your way from the outside in, and that whole piece will pop out. Wear gloves doing this though, because when you pull this out, you're going to have a chrome-plated reflective piece on the inside that is held in by the bulb. And as soon as you get your fingerprints on that, it's almost impossible to get them off. So wearing gloves is crucial to that. So the way I got the bulbs in was I popped this lens off, right? And worked the old bulb out back by applying a pressure on the bulb itself with like a little flat blade screwdriver or with a spludger kit. Anything you really have that can push that out. When you do that, the reflective lens may fall out with it. And that's okay. Just be aware of that. That's why you want the gloves. And then to get the new one in, using your gloves, this will actually be disconnected and flipped over. The way to get this back together is you put the reflective piece in, put the bulb in, and then with one hand you support the back of this, and with the other hand you use your fingers just to push it into place. Okay, so after you get the the bulb back in, the LED bulb, again, you don't have to pull this whole thing apart like you were saying. The whole thing will literally go back up and snap back into place, and you can hear those clips catching. Yeah, and they've already caught it. So no spludger. Whole thing comes down easily when you use those clips. And then I'm gonna put it back together real quick and just put the screws in the back. Make sure the rear window opens and closes again, which it does. And test your lights. They both come on. Whole thing back together. Now, I do want to mention this back bulb real quick, and I'm not sure there's anything you can do about this, but it's just one thing I've seen. Okay, so I'm gonna open up this back light. Okay, so got that down. So as you see, I'm using your other bulb here, and forgive me, I don't remember the type number, but what I have noticed is, unless I really pinch these shut when I hit bumps in rotation, this spins around and eventually works its way all the way around so the light is facing up, and then of course the cab gets really dim. So, Ram does not do a great job with these metal mounts. They break really easily. It's why I also said that when you're putting this bulb in, you need to support it from the back, because if you try to push one up there and you're not supporting that from the back, you're just going to bend that up and destroy it. So not really sure what can be done about this, but just something to consider in production is how to stop this from moving around. It's been holding okay for the past few weeks since I've tightened these clips up just with some hand pressure. So I hope this helps. I would love to see you guys make another video that shows the proper disassembly and assembly of this unit, just to prevent people from breaking clips and having to spend extra money that I wasn't planning on spending. So, thanks.